Well, I'm talking with Paul Craine while I was up here talking to the ministers. Paul, you've got a very serious question again, and this is your subject about population and the way that there's a great graph here, what we want to call it, the population of the Isle of Man, which is so top-heavy, and you're still obviously very worried about this. And you're going to be bringing this up, right?
Yes, the new census is out, and it was clear on the way to that we were going to see the old problems still there, but perhaps moving on a bit. And so what we have got is I've tabled a motion for Tynwald next week. It's been on the Tynwald table for the last 6 weeks now. It comes up on Tuesday, and it's a motion that basically asks to set up a select committee on population, 3-member select committee, to look into the imbalances that we've got in the population and to make recommendations by the end of the year.
Broaden out the lower bit, the economically active, as they say, and below even.
That's right. I mean, I'm seeing this fitting under the Island Plan, particularly within the building greater communities, stronger communities side to things, because the imbalances we've got really are quite strong in terms of the over 65 population, which has been high for a while. That has now reached over 22% of the population. We've got, and that puts us still in the top 6 countries of the planet. So we're
top 6?
That's right. Our population is older than most other countries.
That's a real worry.
And then we've got a median age from this census of 46 and a half, so that means half the people are older than 46 and a half. That also puts us in the oldest 6 countries on the planet. So our population is aged, and yet the biggest year groups that we've got, the biggest cohorts in the population are the 50 to 54, the 55 to 60, and the 60 to 64. So what we've got over 65
That's the baby
at the
boomers,
moment,
right?
is going to
and I'm in that.
Well, strictly, the baby boomers are now in the 70 to 74 category, born in 46 to 51. That's strictly that
I thought I was a baby boomer at 60, but there you go.
Oh, you're younger than that, Paul, yeah.
Okay. But this is what it's doing, isn't it, basically? It should be the other way around perfectly.
Well, it should be
bottom
fairly straight sides, sort of bell shape. Yeah. But we have got this real anvil shape, I guess, if you're trying to find a word to describe it. But we've got this large numbers of people between 50 and 64. They are going to turn 65 within these next 5, 10, 15 years as they go up. So the older side of the population is quite extreme. It's a challenge.
But I mean, it's okay having a committee look into this, but surely under Department for Enterprise, they're always looking for ideas to make more jobs here on the Isle of Man, right? But,
well, there's no shortage of jobs here at the moment, is the understanding.
Full employment, in a sense. Right. We can't get people to move here, is that what the problem is?
Can't get people to move.
And keep the people who lived here staying here.
The next part of the population pyramid, if you're looking in the middle then, 2 things in there. For the second census in a row, if you look at the number of 20 to 24-year-olds, or more precisely, if you look at the 15 to 19s as they become 20 to 24-year-olds, if they're university students, they're still counted as living here, they're still resident here. But in the 20 to 24 population, for every 3 people who move into the Isle of Man between 2011 and 2016, 10 moved out. In the latest census, for every 3 in that age group that moved in, 8 moved out. So we really are losing people in the 20s.
Sure, but our numbers are roughly... well, they went up a bit, didn't they? But it's the wrong age range, is it?
You can see in the population pyramid the narrowing of there in this age group. And the other group that's dropped 11% over the last 10 years, is the number of women of childbearing age. So the impact on this, on future births, is going to be high. And then we've got the birth issue itself. Our pyramid now at the base narrows like this. And that, in the way you talked before about the baby boomer group, which you can still see up there at 70 to 74, this narrowing is going to be part of our pyramid for the next 70 or 80 years.
So what do you expect to do in this committee? I mean, what can they do, really?
They can do a lot, really, because there are many, many, many different things that can affect this issue of of births, of people staying or leaving, of attracting new workers in, and so on. And I'm not looking for huge population growth. I'm not looking for the sort of enormous growth we had in the 1970s.
But it's 100,000 keeps coming up as the sort of ideal amount.
100,000 does appear. If you tried to grow the population by 1,000 a year to get up to 100,000, when you stopped growing, you'd have an almighty crash. It's a sort of it is to population what Ponzi economics is. It's pyramid selling. It's not sustainable.
People see house prices going through the roof, and make it very unattractive to get people maybe to come here and things like that. But that is a supply and demand issue, isn't it?
I think
presumably
you touched there on one of the areas. I'm keen to get the committee set up. I'm not at this stage not attempting to say what the committee should find. Do
you want to be on it though?
It would
make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I'm making no assumptions.
No.
But I'm keen for it to be set up. If I wasn't on it, I'd certainly be happy to inform it from my understanding of events. But if it's set up, it could look at areas like housing, access to housing. It could look at areas like...
The Island Plan, wasn't that all about that, surely, wasn't it?
Well, we've now got a housing board that will work on that, and that's to take that further. Really, the Island Plan is the starting point, and it sets out we need to address the housing issue. So that's one of the areas. We've also got issues relating to childcare and the cost of childcare for young families. There are perhaps issues relating to. At the moment, something like over half the countries in the European Union have pro-natalist policies, policies in favour of birth. France got into trouble this week because of what they've included in the pack that they've given to new mothers. It was purely focused on women and not on fathers. So they got in trouble for that. But nevertheless, France are doing this. France are giving €950 for every new birth on top of child benefits. So there are a range of things that
we'll talk more about it in time. We're running out of time at this moment, but have you tested the water? Do you think there's an appetite for your committee?
I'm not making any assumptions. I wait until Monday, wait until it emerges. The Comin this morning perhaps will have looked at this and they'll have a view on it. We'll see what comes. But I think the majority of members of Tynwald are happy to see this go forward.